I'm not sure. I'm not hearing. Hey folks, how are you doing? First things first, can you hear me? Because I'm not sure. I'm not getting any returns on my audio. So if somebody wants to let me know. This is weird. Headphones, USB. Hey Chucky, how are you? Of all men, how are you, Chucky? You can hear me, fair enough. It's slightly annoying because I'm not getting any return. Hey Clive, thank you very much. You can hear me. I just realized, so I'm using my new microscope. Yeah, finally, it arrived a couple of days ago, and it took its sweet time to arrive. But we had a storm in the meantime, so yeah. Just bear with me. Properties, monitor and output. So why can't I hear anything? I know. There you go. Same as Stephen. Yeah, you can only see like 25% on the actual camera. I mean, that's what we have to deal with. So that's fair enough. No, I just realized though I didn't think I would need, because I did actually mess around with it, but I need the extension bar, especially for the Re-Amiga, to get it, because it only gets like, this is the length of the plate here, the work plate. Sorry. There you go. And it'll only really, the workable space on the board the size of the Re-Amiga is here. So I mean, it's workable. It'd be much more comfortable if I could actually bring it this way. And I didn't install the slide bar. We'll see how we go. I suppose for the top one is going to be a bit of a stretch. But I've actually installed most of the SMD resistors and capacitors on this board already. Took a minute and a half because I'm very slow at these things, but I still have the 220 nanofarad, and there's a lot of them, and the was it 0.1 microfarad, 100 microfarad, a nanofarad to install. There's quite a lot of them. Twist the base around the clamp to the desk. I'm not sure this one is twistable, is it? It's okay though. It's okay. I could actually install it. It's very quick to install. It's just you slide this in, and it's more. Yeah, I could install it now. It wouldn't take that long because it's just you install this in, and then this screws in like that. Yeah, let me do that quickly, and then we'll get going. It'll give people a chance to write. It would have been easier if I did the TFMSX, I suppose, because it's smaller, but I have that to build as well. Let's be gentle with this. That goes in like that. Is that it? Oh yeah, and then there's a oh, is there a StreamYard link? Yeah, I'll let me get set up here. I'll put that out here. I completely forgot. Invite people. Here's the link. I'll put that in the chat, and as usual, for people who are not familiar, it's gonna. Oh, I need fucking stupid emotes. It all the emotes that actually always appear on top of the last comment, like a heart. So if I put a heart to that, it's just so fucking ridiculous. But then it hides the option to actually highlight or pin that comment. Oh, go fucking away. Stephen, just type anything in the chat, anything. And it'll bump my chat. Whoever designed that is go away. That worked. Pin to message, and now it should appear on top of the message. You can click that link to join the chat. Whoever designed that at YouTube, not smart. You need to move those emotes. There he is. He's got a glass.
Oh, there we go. How you doing?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You can't join, Chucky. No. Stephen is very quiet. Hey, CPU, how are you doing? I meant to ask you, CPU, when do you need that tool for? As the okay, cool.
Can you hear me, Ollie? No.
So, Chucky's Andy, how long did it take you to make this? Because that's, I mean, that is such a handy resource to have to be these days. And I'd go as far as saying it probably makes the whole thing is just 50% easier already. Having exact moment locator on this page. Your mic isn't working, Stephen. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me at all? No.
Oh, hold on. Maybe I have audio issues. Yeah. Sorry, I can now. It was
No worries. I'm used to you ignoring me anyway, so it's fine.
I'm just getting mad feedback here. Okay. Solved.
Is that working now?
That should be better.
Okay. How's the microscope then?
I mean, look at that. Pretty fucking great.
It changes your world.
Yeah.
It changes the world.
It really does. The only annoying thing is the field of view on the camera is so restricted compared to what you can actually see. But I mean, that's what you get, I suppose, with a camera with a cheap lens. Maybe there's like almost like a fisheye lens you can buy for these that sits in between. I haven't looked into that, but maybe might be worth looking into it.
Yeah, that might work. Yeah, I know that Louis Rossmann has the same issue, and it's kind of never been solved. But I don't know whether he thought it was worth bothering with.
Yeah, I suppose you get. I mean, it's not a problem when you're soldering on your own. It's more if you want to, or if you want to kind of show a specific thing, it's fine. It's just if you're working like on one of these guys and you're trying to kind of follow, like if you need to zoom in a bit more and then you're following the solder, like
up at the field of view every now and again.
Have you been doing?
Yeah, been doing a lot of flying.
Sure.
No,
whatever.
I'm away flying again tomorrow lunchtime. The weather's looking pretty good, so I'm like, yeah.
Is it?
Well, it is here. Well, it is at Prestwick. I've got suns from 10 o'clock in the morning till 3 and 4 in the afternoon. I'm like, I'm taking that. I've got 2 weeks today. My license expires, so I have 5 hours I have to do.
So do you need do you have a dedicated plane that you fly then when you do that, or?
There's one I rent. I can just go in and book it for an hour or whatever, and it was booked all of tomorrow morning. So I thought I'd just book it from 12 till 2. But whoever had the plane in the mornings cancelled it, so I might go a bit early. I must start very early at work, go early, get as much as I can, basically make hay while the sun shines.
It's hard to hear Ollie.
I think you're all right now. That was before you were just in your audio settings.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All sounds good now anyway. Cool. So as usual, this thing is going to take way longer than normally. Because I'm chatting and I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing.
I'm passionate about the TF46 2040.
So, what's going on? Like you said, Tarkin was.
Okay, so like this is a kind of a classic thing, right? See, and this is probably the last time I'll ever do this, at least with an Amiga. It's like this is raw bring up, and you just try and bring up things a bit at a time. And I just got Chucky got impatient and said, "Does it boot Kickstart?" So I threw it in, and I thought, well, I'll try Turrican. There's something up with the sound. I don't think it's actually the sound. I think it's the timers that time the intervals on when the samples play.
Okay.
And at least I think that's what's going on at the moment. I'm going to park that for now, though. But it's up and booting.
So is it just the sound, like the timing with the music? That's
I think so. The playing the sounds is fine. The samples sounded in the correct pitch, but they weren't but they weren't being played at the right time. The music was slowing down and speeding up and slowing down. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but
I mean, Turrican is a tricky one as well because he used his own audio drivers for that as well. Like it's not, it plays on 8 voices, so
okay.
There's some shenanigans going as well with the audio drivers. Obviously, you want that fixed, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember on the Amiga 2000 my 500 card can be put in the 2000, and I remember Turrican was a problematic one, so that's why I was trying it. It's kind of I think it times so many milliseconds or something, and then it changes the sample. Oh. But I haven't looked at the code or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like everything else is like this, beyond music. Like everything else is timed right and everything. So it's only the music that's not working properly.
I actually got no idea. I mean, this is one of those things where you sort of get it up to a point where you can repeatedly get it booting, and then you just find them problems and refine.
Yeah.
I'm moderately impressed that it only needed 3 patch wires to get to this level of booting. So
you're getting better at it.
Considering I did this in a fever when I had COVID, I think I did done reasonably well on it. So I mean, I didn't really want to do this card. It was like, you know what, I'm sick, I'm bored. I've watched all of Ricky Gervais's comedies.
I'm glad you're doing one now.
Yeah. So there's that, and then I also just needed a break from the 4060, but I also, because Chucky brought that case over from Sweden, having a case to put that motherboard in and hold all the stuff together and just keep it contained in a box is far better than having a loose motherboard on the bench. See, there you go. You're doing so surface mount. There you go.
Do you like my thumbnail?
Yeah.
So this one is not line, but yeah.
So this is what you need hot air.
Huh?
This is where hot air is your friend. If you hot air that, they'll just line up.
Line them back in place, but then yeah. Like, would you use both? Like,
I generally tend to, for this sort of thing, I would tin the pads, bit of flux on, hold the thing there with some hot air, and then let the surface tension of the solder catch it, and then it'll just go into position.
Where's this one here?
Have you got a hot air gun? Your hot air gun wasn't really that hot though, was it?
Yeah, I used it the other day because I had problems making one of the carts because I'm making a batch of them, like a batch of 10.
Right.
And I wasn't sure, so I removed. No, was it with this? Or was it? No, it was with the TFMSX. And I got the wrong. I got the wrong. I pinged you about it, but I got the wrong crystal. Okay. So I put it in, and I think like it read as shorted, so I had to remove it then afterwards, and so I had to use the hot air gun, and it was fine. I mean, I put it in with the hot air gun, took it out with the hot air gun. I think I just wasn't close enough. I was just being careful with. Yeah.
Like the thing is, you just start far away. You let everything around it warm up, and then you just go in for the kill, come back out.
Yeah. I'm trying to save that flux as much as I can and not using too much. So I'm probably not using the proper amount.
Chucky's our dealer.
You know, I can't keep asking Chucky for free stuff. And
it's quite expensive, but
I have plenty. Like I have I used probably a third like of this guy. So, and that was with the Re-Amiga 1200. So I used most of my solder on the first pad. Yeah, I'm not exactly still after the amount I've done. I'm still not quite sure how much I need to put on my iron. Where else is there? How about further down here? Of course there is. Of course there is. And is there some over there as well? I think they're mostly on the bottom of the board, aren't they? Like there's like a ton of them.
They all have
220. They all have. Jeez. Good luck explaining that one. But
I'm not even going to try.
Such hot air for as a cleanup. Okay. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. You already used the tube since you sent that one to me. Yeah, but I mean, you deal in far bigger quantities than me.
I go through a cheap bread every 6 months, and I don't do that much soldering. So
yeah. Where are we looking here? Besides, they're right and almost at the bottom. So there's this one here, and this one here. And you can't see that. Of course, I'll have to get used to the framing my stuff better. So you're pretty close with that 4060.
Oh no. I haven't even
No?
I haven't put the RAM on it yet, but it's booting. That's a milestone.
Wasn't the RAM what was causing all these issues, though? No.
I'm very confident that the RAM will be okay on this, but it's kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. If like the Amiga 500's got a very slow bus on it, and then when you go to the and I was doing the next class up chip. I've done like the TF536 is the next class up chip onto the Amiga 500, so it's a fast class to a slower class. Well, this is 2 classes up going, so it has to do 2 translations in the middle of it. So I'm just massively impressed it's even booting at all.
Okay.
Somewhere between that and impressed it hasn't gone on fire.
That's always a plus.
Yeah. I've kind of just, how I had all these desks up here for the party. I've just left them here. It's just working much better for me, and I can keep this room warm. So if I'm
also, was your room? So what did you do for the party?
Well, I used to only have one of the desks up here in this room, like one of the.
Yeah.
And I had 2 of them in the basement, and I brought the other 2 up for the party. But now I've got sort of bench space up here, and I've got a stove, so I can keep warm. Whereas, I mean, where I am now compared to where I was a year ago, but it's all just because we moved house,
I know, but it's a cozy place, though. I mean, you know how I think about it, like having a workbench with everything accessible within arm reach. That's pretty much what you have there.
Yeah, this bit here upstairs, but and even in the arcade room, it's not as cold as it was in the other bit last year where I was based. The under construction room.
Yeah. That must have been freezing because that was cold already with the insulation.
That was very cold last year. Yeah, I think that's the reason why when I came back from yours in January, I was like, "F this."
And did you do? You did a whole winter there. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we've been here coming up 3 years here now.
Really?
3 years in April. Yeah.
I know you 3 years.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, time's flying, isn't it?
You're having fun.
Let me just see what's going on over here.
Where's that thing? Chucky, come on in. Why can't you join? I want to blame somebody other than Stephen for making this board. Come on back in. Stop moving. And there you go.
No luck, Ted. Sorry, I was just seeing if I could get the hard disk to work on that board. That's what I'm at now.
Chucky said he's better stuff to do than talk to us.
Like talking to you, it's better half.
Oh, God. The problem with Flux is stuff gets sticky really quickly.
Dishwasher.
No, but like my pliers here, as I'm trying to.
Yeah. Alcohol.
Probably need to clean this guy as well. Put a solid blob on the pad and then add the component. I suppose, yeah, maybe I should do it right. Yeah, actually, that big long arm, I didn't put it on because it's handy for stuff like that, but then I can't really push the right now. It's handy because the whole microscope can be like flush against the wall when I push it back. It doesn't take as much space, so maybe actually I could extend the arm and just have that floating in the air. But oh yeah, Chucky's right again.
It's an annoying habit of doing that.
Arcade Mania, how are you doing? Why didn't I get a digital one with the HDMI? Oh no. Probably more expensive. Oh, no, that's good.
The HDMI ones, they're not stereo, so you don't get two different images in one in each eye. So you can't judge height at all.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That is a good point, though. Being able to have a stereo image in your eyes is actually very handy. I'm going to be doing this all night at this rate.
You'll get quick. We have plenty more boards for you to do once you've done that one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't think that one will ever get finished, to be honest.
This one?
Yeah, there's too much unobtainium.
Chucky, you need to get this man some unobtainium.
That's not what I was trying to do.
I know, but the thing is, it's not out of kindness. It's if you run out of things to do, we'll have to you'll stop. So to keep you going, we're like your dealer.
It's funny because the Re-Amiga did actually do a lot of. It did really well on the channel compared to pretty much other videos, recent videos. But I think it's because it's anything Amiga will do well in general. Chucky's go more.
So that was on the man shed, yeah.
The Re-Amiga.
Yeah.
Come on. And yeah, anything Amiga tend to do really well. Like far better than anything arcade, to be honest. At least initially. I think arcade stuff has probably a lot more rewatch value, as because collectors and restorers often refer and look for videos like that, and there's not a lot. So I think Amiga stuff has more initial watch stuff, views. Probably not long term, because there's tons of Amiga videos online. I think that's everything in the top. 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. Bottom. Yeah, Chuck, time to go. Sorry, I was going to ask Chucky how long it took him to make this. No, it's 200 nanofarad to make this locator, because it's, it's so handy. Actually, might be better. Are we doing another Fishwives this week?
You know what we can do tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'll set something up.
You don't have to. I'm just saying.
No, the reason I haven't for the last 2 weeks is because I've been flying in the morning, and I don't want to be doing that with a hangover.
No,
no danger. So last 2 Saturdays. Last Saturday, and then the Saturday before that, and then it wasn't that many weeks before that. It was the party, and then all the.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm sure the lads are down to one as well.
I think we're overdue one, so we're overdue one. We need to get Hoffman and explain why he was wrong not to come to the party.
How do you like family stuff or something?
I don't know what happened. I think, Arik didn't manage to come either, and Arik's wife had booked them a holiday to Spain.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
So, it's just stuff like but to be honest, I think we were at capacity anyway. So I think it was just.
That's what we were saying. I don't think more people would have actually necessarily mean better. It
would have been good to see other people and just let them.
Sure. Yeah.
I was always intending it for people to flit in and out. There was just myself, yourself, Chucky, and Eric that were there for the hardcore the whole weekend. Even Rob Cranley didn't manage to do the whole weekend. He had, parenting duties. Although he was saying to me today, I've lost. I was saying to the group, you're on the group. He was saying, no, I've lost the CF card. Has anybody seen it? We were all just about to go and look. Suggest he go search where he fell on the street.
the local Biffy bins. Oh, he fell. That's right, didn't he? He just fell on the way back.
Yeah, and then his phone fell into a big pile of leaves, and he hurt his ankle quite badly, and then he spent a good while
the rest of the night. Good times.
It's just always funny. Oh, and I've got to tell you'll appreciate this. So we've got a busy weekend coming up with Callan's. He's doing this thing for Cubs, and it's like a show where they do a performance, and they do a show and a matinee on Saturday and Sunday, both Saturday and Sunday. So they're out all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and they're out doing a full dress rehearsal tomorrow night. So we were just like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And Sandra's here tomorrow, and we asked her to do the beef bourguignon for us.
Oh, nice.
So we're getting that again. That was That was pretty special.
That was a big success, all right.
And she's really keen to come and do it again. She was
Really?
she was well enjoyed herself. So
See, we're all well behaved as well, and we took time to chat to her. And
she actually said that it was tidier with us than it was with my wife and mother-in-law there.
I love it.
Of 20 lads drinking was tidier than my mother-in-law and my wife and my kid.
Yeah.
So I'll let you read into that, what you will.
I'm not reading anything. Here, where is it? There. Oh, actually, I've already put some flights on it. That's all I'm doing tonight. Actually, just putting those caps. I've essentially that's all the parts I have. So I'm waiting for Mouser to deliver. Come on, you. Deliver the next batch.
Oh, are you got like piles of bombs and stuff?
You've
got a bunch of stuff, like a pile of orders and stuff's coming in as it's coming into stock.
Yeah, I did. So I just did assembly resistors and caps and some like I leftover diodes from the Re-Amiga 1200.
Yeah,
that I used there. So I just did those just to. I did that with the Re-Amiga as well. I was like, I'll do those first, see if I really want to continue, and then once there was, and then I've ordered all the true hole resistor networks, and everything just to get to a point where I can get power LED to light up. Just like I did on the Re-Amiga 1200.
You're just following the guide.
Yeah, just following the guide, and then, but the guide is actually even the first page of the guide goes way beyond that. So I'm just stopping there. I'll follow the guide, but I'll probably cut it even more because Chucky's done a guide in I think 4 parts again, but it could actually be 10 parts. Like it's quite involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Ouch. That sounds. Just a second. I'm trying to figure out why my hard disk. I don't mind that it doesn't work, but it's not even attempting to access the disk. So
You're what?
I'm trying to bring up the IDE interface on this.
Oh yeah.
I'm just looking through the code, going, "What have I screwed up?"
Oh, I haven't checked StreamYard there. Anybody joining? No. So, folks, if anybody wants to join, there's a link on top of the chat, and that's going to bring you to a StreamYard interface where you can just set up your camera. Anybody's welcome to join, as long as you behave. Anybody's welcome.
If I'm let in, you're fine. Basically.
Yeah, if Stephen can behave, I mean, everybody can. I don't know why I'm giving you a hard time like that. It's like you've never actually.
I would be disappointed if you didn't.
Yeah, I mean it's
a Scottish thing. It's a Scottish way. Maybe the west coast of Ireland and France and the UK way. Didn't ever let up.
No, I think that's mostly Ireland and Scotland, really. The slagging. French people don't really do that, or at least not like that.
Is the slagging like that in Dublin, or is it mostly the west coast of Ireland?
Oh yeah, no, the Dubs are. The Dubs are good. They're great fun, actually.
I just have a mistrust of anyone who's got the C on the east. That's my general mistrust.
Oh yeah. That was weird. I remember landing in when I arrived in Dublin, and I had a house. I was lucky. I had a house like I could actually see the sea from my bedroom. That was my first flat, but it used to freak me out because the sun would rise in the water, and France is on the west coast, so for me the sun always sets in the water. It's just. That was just, and now like it was rising in the water. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
I'm the same. My parents are off the west coast of Lewis, so it's like the
Yeah.
Atlantic Ocean. The sea drops in there, and the sea boils, and then the sea comes back out a couple of minutes later.
Yeah. The sea boils. Yeah, they don't get a lot of nighttime in summer. Like,
No, I can tell you exactly where the sun will set and where it'll rise on Midsummer's Night.
Yeah.
It's about that far away on the horizon. And it doesn't really get dark.
That was another thing in Ireland as well. When I arrived, realized how little nighttime there was in summer. Like, because I used to play music, so sometimes we'd get locked in the pub for the night. Like, they'd close, and they didn't want anybody to know there was anybody inside. So essentially, the entire clientele would just stay in until it was opening time again, or they let you out slowly. But I remember coming out to the pub sometimes at about like 4 a.m. and it was getting bright again. Like, I was like, what?
Yeah, and the bit that'll freak you out is there's no birds. Like, it's all deadly quiet. You can't hear.
I didn't notice that so much in the city, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess
they're not up yet. Yeah, that's true.
It's like broad daylight and there's no birds. That's the freaky bit. It's like the end of the world. It's like,
especially with the hangover. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna get another beer. Back in a second.
Yeah, I'll be here. So there's two more. Is the sound okay? Are we still people left in the chat, or have we bored everybody with our boomer talk? Come on, you. It does actually. I'm really happy with the scope. It does make life easier. I would say for this type of pitch, 1206 probably not strictly needed. In fact, I did my Re-Amiga without a microscope, and that was that very pitch. So, but for the MSX, it's a much finer. The TF MSX is going to be a much finer pitch, so I'll absolutely need a microscope for that. CPU, by the way, are you still in the chat? I never checked your answer, if you answered me. No, you didn't. There it is. The other thing is going to take me a minute to adjust to having stuff centered here in the in this viewpoint and on the camera as well at the same time. I'm enjoying this soldering Thursdays, whatever this is called.
Solder hub.
Solder hub.
I can't think of a better way to describe it.
Can't use that every week though.
Gets old.
But I think it's the only logo of that type of stuff that people will recognize. I don't think.
It's clickbait as.
Did I miss something though? No, this one here. Don't think we have any other ones. Oh yeah, there is. There is. This lad here.
Right, let me up a set.
This wee lad. We haven't seen Leo pop in yet.
Yeah, Leo's been quiet. He wasn't well, and then he went back to work. So
yeah, I think he's okay mostly now, though.
That's good.
I was saying earlier, I don't think a scope is strictly needed really for 1206 pitch.
No, you can do it with. I mean, I probably wear my glasses if the lighting wasn't great, but what I would say is probably more necessary is that ring light than.
Oh yeah, and I got two. I got a spare one already.
Keep in mind the one that I had. I'd have had that one since 2016, maybe before that.
There you go.
And it's been going for all that time. Chucky sits within 5 meters of it, and it goes boom. It actually explodes.
That's what he does. We can blame Chucky. He's not here anymore.
That's true. I would blame him if he was here, to be honest. It's my go-to. I was far too nice to him on my on Neil's talk, on the talk I did for Neil's. So when I got my golden cleric.
You're far too nice to everybody, to be honest. I expected full scale assault on myself, Chucky, Gadget.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's Neil. He would just have edited it all out.
So nice.
I did a 2-hour talk. You cut it down to an hour. You know,
oh, that was 2 hours. You did a 2
No,
hour.
I'm only kidding. I'm just making it sound like there was more there than.
It wouldn't surprise me.
And here I am getting an award for being a top.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, Father Damien thought it was very funny to hold me in a headlock.
You know, I haven't watched one episode of Father Ted since I came back from your place.
You overdosed.
I overdosed. Hey, 101 blog, how are you doing? Problem Child from the old Discord. How are you doing, dude? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm a real boy now. I'm doing SMD. So it's this guy. Is it? This guy. This guy.
He said he would never do SMD, but you know.
I remember. I'm not sure that's a good thing. Yeah, I remember the people from the old Discord. It was a cool one, but there was too much babysitting involved, and too many people got invited and joined, and it was just I didn't have any mods either. I suppose there was a couple of mods, but I didn't want them to start censoring people, so it was just easier to shut it down. Neil Adamson, how are you doing? Inspire you to try to post something yourself? Did you ever get an answer? I think I'm not sure what you mean. Did I ever get an answer to my question on new camera? I'm not sure what you mean. It says SMD and Father Ted reruns. Yes, exactly. But welcome, Neil. I'm not sure what you mean with the camera. It probably means I didn't get an answer to. Come
No,
on.
it's SMD and Father Ted reruns. Basically, yeah. So one of the lads.
So-
Sorry, on you.
No, go ahead.
No, it's your show. It's your show. It's your show.
No, it was just filling silence.
I was just going to say we had with Stephen, one of the lads that came to the party, put a 10-hour Father Ted loop on, and I don't think anybody watched more than half an episode, but it was always, you could always just, while you were going past the telly, would stand and watch 2 or 3 gags and then come back later and watch
That's
2 or
what we
3.
did. Like if we needed 5 minutes to chill or half an hour. But yeah, that's, I mean, I use the room a good bit, even just to have a sip of drink before going back upstairs. Like if I'd go downstairs for a drink, I'd kind of start my drink in front of Father Ted and then turn you back upstairs.
It was kind of I think I achieved what I was aiming for with it, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for Amiga Ireland or anything like that, That's far too formal, and not that there's anything wrong with Amiga Ireland. It's just a different thing. It's a different thing.
Where am I? Not where I should be. Okay. Yeah, this board is big to have under a microscope because need to remove it, and I need then something to prop it when it's not on the table, so I just use a spare lens. And there it is, Fiona.
Say hi to Fiona.
One of my problem with SMD stuff is the tendency for parts to fly off.
You just have to learn not to breathe.
I had an hour run earlier, so trying to get as much oxygen back in the system as I can.
Oh, an hour run. Jeez, that's a long run. Was that like a 10K?
It's like 5-ish miles. It's not a fast run.
That's close to
Probably,
10K.
Yeah, it's probably 7 or 10. Or
7.
8.
Yeah.
Bit too much solder. I'm actually making blobs more than proper solder. But that's okay.
Did you chop up that tree yet, or have you still to do that?
No, I'll do that this weekend. I have a lot of jobs of fixing this weekend. I need to repair the shed door. The glass is gone on it, so.
Can you just buy a standard piece and putty it in? Or is that the...
I've a spare piece. I'm actually not going to put glass because that door we need to slam it every now and then.
Yeah.
And that glass was kind of poor, so it never closed properly. So I need to kind of file the edges and then make a new. I'm going to replace it with a piece of wood, but I have some plexiglass, and I have actually a circular piece of metal that was taken from an old drums that somebody gave me, but it was all busted. But I saved the metal because I was like, it kind of looks like a porthole.
All right.
So yeah, so I'm going to just make a piece of plexiglass for it and just put that in the wood.
So you're doing the Father Ted
light.
Plexiglass.
Yeah.
Kind of thought Father Jack running through the window too often, so installed the plexiglass.
Too often, yeah. Neil, sorry, out of interest, what do you use as primary camera and whether you're using this to stream now? So I'm using. So my camera is I've a standard Logitech webcam here for the wide view. I have my laptop camera here for my face. I'm using this camera on the microscope for the microscope view and my desktop. So get four shots. So you can actually see pretty much everything. That was the idea, like in what I'm referring to when I'm saying like this one is here and this one is here. And to stream, I'm using Streamlabs as a virtual camera, so I can actually composite all these, and then I'm using StreamYard to allow people in and out. So normally, ideally, no, not that, but StreamYard allow you to have different kind of line up like that. So I've people a bit smaller because I suppose a lot of people are more interested in the what's happening on the board here than Stephen's face. Sorry, Stephen.
I don't blame them.
But the idea, I've put the link up on the chat. There's a link up there, and the idea is anybody who wants to join on camera, or you can turn off the camera but continue to chat via audio if you want, is more than welcome to join. And sort of a very inclusive way of streaming.
Oh, you need to get Kent on.
I'm not sure that would be Ken's cup of tea, these type of streams, to be honest. Maybe it would.
No,
I suppose if we had more people, we'd chat about more stuff as well, other than Father Ted.
It's more for the terrifying accent of Kent.
He's got some great anecdotes of actually repairing synth and that kind of stuff, and and funny customers, and his stream is good. I actually wish he'd talk about that stuff more, because there's so many people that, everybody gets a chance to talk, but it's just, if it was just him and a handful of other people, like, you'd hear a lot more anecdotes like that. Or maybe not, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
He's very good at listening to others as well.
Yes. I would agree with that. He's pretty, I don't even know quite how to put it, but it can end up talking about council tax rebates. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
It can go that way. So
usually
does. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's maybe not what everybody's tuning in for.
So that's all the 220 nanofarad done, all 28 of them. And now we move on
to liars.
100 to 100 nanofarad. And there's a ton of them too.
I just need to be stopped, I think.
I did think of it. I said it that way too. Just to bait you in, to be fair. And now what have we? And I think there's even more of those. Got so many of you, each doesn't need to be great. So I'm catching up with the chat late. You see Stephen, you finish on board, makes you feel guilty. Stephen here, yeah. What are you working on? 101. Got new glasses. Bit less, lot less frame than the other ones.
Just like one diopter readers or something like that.
No, they're can sort of I can wear them for everything, but just the frame is a bit less visible than the other ones. The other ones were too kind of bulky, I found. And especially since you showed, was it you or Chucky's I was trying on?
It was mine.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, they're actually much nicer on they feel much nicer, like they don't block your vision like these one did. Right. We got 5 here. We got 30 on the bottom board.
Yeah, my little nephew is 4, and he got had to get glasses this week, and he was not a happy camper. Poor little thing.
Stuff. That's young, yeah, to get glasses.
Yeah. So I was FaceTiming him and saying, don't worry, your Uncle Stephen's had to get glasses too. It's the only thing I could think of to console him, you know. He's got a bit of a sort of speech impediment at the moment, and he calls me Uncle Stephen.
That's cute, though.
And his little brother is Rucus. Rucus. And he had to get liquid in his eyes.
Oh.
Poor little guy. I feel really sorry for him.
Got 5 here. Jeez, we got a ton. We got there's 1 here, but I think on the other side where all those TTLs are. Yeah, and it up there. Let's go.
I want you there. So we're thinking next year, Blackadder.
Blackadder is very good. I think that Father said Blackadder and Only Fools and the Horses are almost on my Faulty Towers too, of course, yeah. Actually, yeah, and the Flying Circus too. But yeah, those first 4 are usually on my rewatch list. Gonna put all of these there. Actually, I'm only 2 here, so come on.
I mean, I would be perfectly happy with Father Ted again, but we should mix it up. You know, it looks like I had a stupid mistake, so maybe that'll work this time.
What are you doing?
I'm just trying to get the bloody operating system to ID the. Come
on the 4000.
On the 2000, yeah.
Oh,
so I've done this about 60 times on 16 different boards, but I'm totally failing on this board for some reason. I can't figure out why. So, what it does is it goes through a sequence and it hits a few ports and reads ID bits out and then goes, yeah, there's a hard disk there. I'll try and see if there's an actual hard disk there. But it's not even flashing the light, so I think I'm failing quite early.
I'm not doing a great job on some of these. Putting way too much solder on these, but solder. I need to get out of the habit of saying solder.
Solder is a very British way of saying it.
I know, but I mean,
Oh, and Dave Jones says it as well, so I guess the Australians must say it that way too.
Yeah, but I learned English here, you know. So, it's funny after watching so many YouTube videos, like especially if you're not a native speaker, you end up mixing all different styles.
You're not a native speaker. No. But alors you are French.
No, put the last one in. The good thing is the flux helps them stay in place. I think there's a question for you there in the chat, Stephen.
What? One for TF, design views on decoupling caps, one per chip, and who do you use for PCB production? So we're on the man shed. Am I allowed to say the name of the other company?
Of course.
So I generally read the manual for each chip and just get I don't spend ages going through it, but I just scan it, and it's usually one cap per power pin, and I try and get it as close to the power pin as I can. Try to make the legs between the distances between the power pin and the cap, and the legs on the legs between the cap and the power planes as short as possible, because they radiate. And I use JLC PCB. I think everybody actually does really use JLC PCB. Most people I know, with the exception of Ollie.
Yeah.
Most of the people I know, even the ones being sponsored by PCBWay, use GLC. I stopped using PCB. I used to use PCBWay. I stopped using them after they screwed up too many orders. I do get GLC to populate. Yeah, usually just the passives.
Let's see, when did it come to sponsor you and you'll have to switch?
You'd have to pay me a lot. My board runs are something like a board run. One of my board runs is probably minimum 200 quid. So I'd need to, if one of them goes bad, it's not worth it.
Well, it wasn't by your telling, like when you told me, it wasn't so much that they messed it up, is that how they handled it afterwards. You weren't quite.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, and oh no, we didn't do that. I'm like, well, there's no other way those two power pins could be actually, joined. The power and ground could be joined. It's like,
this one, and then I mean all the services use the same equipment.
Yeah, but I bet you they will. They are using the same people, but I'm guessing the quality control from JLC is just better. That's my overall impression. It's not so much that, I bet you if JLC and PCBWay use exactly the same people to actually manufacture it. They're basically just websites that distribute the work. I really wish you could find out who had actually made it, because I've had some boards that came back that were absolutely amazing, and then I did another batch and I couldn't get them to work as well. Golden boards.
I've ordered stuff in the past that no problem, fine, came out fine, and then I've had stuff recently where they reply saying, "Oh, this we can do this." I'm like, "You've done it already. Like I've the order. I can refer to the file that you processed." Anyway, it was absolutely fine. And that's happened to me on the last batch, and I'm like, obviously, it's not the same people.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. So, because anyway, I'll say stuff to you in private.
Because they've got no morals and no something, but what they do have, and no one can deny this. They're fine collective boilers in it. Sorry.
That was such a random character. If anybody doesn't know what you're talking about, you're normal.
Yeah. Father person.
Somebody sent CB kit. They look like the large product. Yeah. Did you take a trip there? 101. Sorry to hear about the sponsorship. No. They've been really good sports with the way I do the sponsorship, and
Yeah, I thought you were going to get in trouble with the anime door, to be honest.
no. They've been very good sports, and they did want me to be exclusive, but they did want to be my exclusive supplier, and said no. And it's been fine.
It wouldn't end well if I had to stick 300 quid's worth of parts on the board during. The other thing is, like, I don't even know if these PCBs work half the time, so I need to eliminate out the
Yeah.
up factor.
Yeah. But that's the way. I mean, that's the way it's allowed us to make prototypes. Like, we don't actually know if those work when we get them, but it's just we sort of rely on the company to print exactly what we order. So when they screw it up, it just adds a layer of confusion that we didn't expect. But I'd be the same. Like, any batch that I order would be a couple of hundreds. Like for the synthesizer stuff, when I order a new a batch of board, like it's going to be a couple of €100 already.
Yeah, and I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but this one is done. This one is actually finished, finally.
The 1232?
Yeah, it's actually nailed. It felt good to finish a board, to be honest. Just so many projects kicking about.
Are you telling me I'm building one on the channel? Is that your way here?
Well, probably, you built one. You've already built a 12.
It had some errors,
It worked.
I wouldn't have found them myself, I think.
You need, but you have diagram, yeah, and you have a microscope, so. Oh, and to be honest, half of that was because we were ripping components off old spare boards. We were doing it on the cheap.
That's true. Yeah, the RAM had legs missing. That's right. Forgot about that. Like, Chucky, this RAM has legs missing. It'll be fine. Okay. So there's 4 here. Sorry, I'm doing these 4 next. Yeah, the field of view, or the width of that camera is shite. Absolutely shocking.
So how I would do these is just put a tiny bit of a tin the pads, and then use the hot air, and you do them like you get a much faster.
I know, but it's not as entertaining on it. And also on the stream, all you'll hear, but would be the hot air station going. Woo!
Now there was an RX plugin that's pretty good at removing that. VST.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, background noise. But a lot of these VSTs actually introduce a lot of latency in your audio. I use the RX plugins a lot, like the Isotope.
Yeah, the Isotope RX noise reduction plugin. But yeah, you're right.
I'm going to reuse my right hand because I've been using my left hand, and it's, what is it Dave said in the last stream? Which I feel like somebody else is doing it.
Right, dude. I think I'm gonna head off. I'm up.
No problem. Yeah.
30, and then I'm supposed to be flying a plane. So, you know.
And you're
By the way, you know, I could fly over.
It didn't. No, I'm good. It didn't stop you from having a few beers this time, though.
I've only this is my second can, so I've probably had a pint all evening.
Oh wow, very good. Are you? Oh, you're off tomorrow. Of course, you're flying.
No, I'm not off. I'm working like from 7 till 10, and then I'm going flying, and then coming back and working.
Oh wow.
Again, it's
that's dedication.
Well, if I told you I had £90,000 into my flying.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of.
Yeah, get your money's worth. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And there's the part that flew off there. Yeah, fair enough. I'll get some sleep then.
Don't want to lose that. No, not lightly anyway. So, all right. Thanks.
Right. Have a good one.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Talk to you. Thanks for coming. And oh wow, amazing how much white noise there was. Hey, nobody from nowhere. How are you doing, Leo? So I'm just plowing through these. We have, I think I'm gonna finish. Yeah, you just missed Steven, Leo. I think I'm gonna finish this side of the board and probably call it a day and finish the other side tomorrow. That's quite a lot of part, but it's the last. These 100 nanofarads are the last batch of SMD passives that I have to put on. Not entirely true. I think there's some fuses and a couple of diodes. But there's not as many of them. Like, it's going to be a much faster process. Oh, you've been here about 45 minutes. You've have zero input, so you don't want to. Fair enough. That came out really well, by the way, that tune you did. That Far Cry one. And yeah, I hope you didn't mind me giving your name. Actually, it was actually worth it. I think it came out really well. But sorry, I give you extra work. Five, yeah, okay. So that's those 5 here. You got 1, 2, 3. Goes next. How many more have we? Quite a few. Not that many. Actually, out of curiosity, I want to see what's on the top of the board. Capacitors. And there's 24 here. Oh, crap. Yeah, there's a lot in this area. Uh, 101 was the event. We won't be. Stephen had a party in his house, and it was mostly the Scottish Amiga group. Like he regularly does those parties, but it's he this time he had invited Chucky and Eric, and they were working on the cards together, and he invited me over as well to stay over. So it was like it wasn't an event; it was a sort of a private party, but it extended the extended Scottish Amiga user group. Leo, I know you feel you can't contribute, but if you want to come in and chat, you're more than welcome. Yeah, it was cool. So but what we did as well on the during the event, like Stephen had, he's got a rather big house, so he had a few things going on in the house. There wasn't that many of us, but enough to have everybody busy everywhere. But in his basement, he's got his workshop, and so I built a TF 1230 under Chucky's supervision. So that was my first really proper introduction to using a microscope and drag soldering and that kind of stuff. So that was fun. That was interesting, and we streamed it. We streamed it on Steven's channel, and then the three of them, so Eric, Chucky, and Steven, were working. So Eric does some software implementation for him. I think, is it ID drivers? I'm not exactly sure what his involvement with TF cards. And then, so the three of them were working together into getting the TF 460, so for the Amiga 4000 and 3000, which it'll work on this to work. And by the end of the weekend, they got it to boot. So that was pretty, it's pretty cool to be there for that, actually. It was really nice. And me, other than that, I was just making I was actually making an Amiga mod file, just making music on Pro Tracker. Yeah, the microscope. Yeah, it feels you get used to the range of movement quite quickly. Like like these are micro adjustments here. I can't even see them really with the naked eye here at first because I don't have my glasses on. But you just you get used to those micro adjustments pretty quickly. It kind of feels natural after a while. Anyway, let's continue. We've got these three here. This one, and this one. So it might be easier to put this in an angle like that, maybe. So where are they? Look at this one here. Oh yeah, I already put some flux on this. This one, is it? And this one. Actually, I could look. It says 100 nanofarad, 100 nanofarad. You really need a scope to read this. But the scope is great for that. This is as high and as wide as it gets. I mean, you can really get. Actually, my camera isn't even focusing because it's solo, but I can actually focus pretty well on this. If you shake less with a microscope. You kind of do, actually. That's the surprising thing. I'm not sure if you mean that as a joke or what, but yeah. I noticed I have a much steadier hand. Which is actually, I never thought about it, but it's sort of an interesting neurologic phenomenon. Like, why can you focus your movement a lot better with better magnification? You get better feedback. Maybe that's it, yeah. Maybe that's it. 0.25 Barlow lens is your friend. You mean for the camera? Or for the microscope? I'm actually using the wider, less magnification lens that I have here. I have a series of 3, and I have is that it? It's the 0.5, a 0.7, and I have a 2x, which I can't see myself using it ever. So 0.25, so it's half of this one. To get a wider, to get a wider view. Is that what you mean on the camera, maybe? And hi, Flibble. Flibble. It's hard to say that without sounding like a Rowan Atkinson. Flibble. Flibble. For wider, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. It's really weird doing this and running this channel because I know that people watching the channel have far more experience and are far more knowledgeable than me, which is always weird. Like it's I'm quite confident with the my music channel, Banjo Gayali, but the 8-bit Manshed, I do feel very strong sort of imposter syndrome with that channel. You know, having people like even people like Terrible Fire and Shocky, like just being friends and coming on the channel. Come on. It's a weird one. I've never sort of figured out this channel, the 8-bit Manshed, really who watches it or the appeal. I sort of started it because that's the type of channel that I enjoy, sort of vlog-like type of channels, but I'm always surprised. I don't know why other people like it. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I only have a camera, but you can get for a scope as well. Yeah, so I was wondering earlier, could I get a wider lens for this camera? And I'm not sure what I would need for that. I mean, I'll have to look at attachment for Eakins type of HDMI camera. I'd love to get like not a fisheye, but something that actually extend the width of view, because that's like what you can see on the camera is actually it's a third really of what I can see here. So I can work much faster and do much more in one shot than I can now. Bowling servicing training at work. Wow, okay. Also, I talk more than most, but I get stuff done. I like that. I know what you mean, though. You have the Ekin scams, and the 25 comes with mounting on top and bottom. Okay. You should work in between cam and scope. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like something that sits between the two, just to extend the lens. But it's a much smaller, like it's not these guys, you know. It's a much smaller fitting, unless that goes in. I'll have to have a look. Yeah, so even something like the 0.7 would actually be better than what I have here. I'll have a look afterwards. Maybe that's one way to do it. And I'll get so the 25 was for the camera, not for the scope. Is that what you're saying? You're a dabbler. That's yeah. I think that's what I am as well. But very much. Most are. What's that word? Site. Is that a typo, or is that most likely a word I don't know? Next, we got those three here, and that top one over there. You can't see, but so I started these. That's the third one I do, I think, now. C types. I'm sorry. Okay, I thought that was just industrial size. Gotcha. Yeah, should I continue making those? Actually, I haven't checked how many people watch. Oh shit! There's 11 of you watching. Yeah, I do kind of like the Thursday because we can just have a short casual stream, and working on stuff like that is just super tedious and boring on your own. Especially for something I'm not entirely familiar with. It's always good to have other people actually helping me and directing me a little bit. That's why it was always cool for the first ones, for that Chucky and Steven came in, but I don't want to rely on them to be here all the time. But yeah, is Thursday a good day for everybody? Or whenever. If you're here, you're here. Come on. Oh, jeez. We started watching the arcade repairs, and yeah, I mean, I've changed. For the longest time, people associated the channel with arcade repairs, which I suppose I did a lot of stuff like that on it. But content change, for me, it wasn't so much a channel dedicated to arcade repairs, but more to kind of sort of anything DIY initially, and it sort of evolved into arcade stuff. But as projects come and go, different types of projects take my fancy. So it's like, well, right now it's a lot of Amiga stuff. Mostly because Chucky and Terrible Fire love to send me their latest projects. Partly to annoy and troll me, and partly, I think mostly to annoy and troll me. Oh, I made a mess here. Come on. Stayed way too long on that. And it's sideways. I'm doing the best job keeping them aligned. How are we doing here? Yeah. Definitely to troll me. Yes. I think that, this is as well. I mean, and Steven said that to me as well. There was an element of getting stuff on the channel to get more eyes on these boards. And I suppose me not being an expert in any of that, in a way, it probably helps show that anybody can build these boards and this stuff. Like next, I'm going to be building this Re-Amiga, Re-MSX, TFMSX. So stuff like that, to solder on, and those tiny resistor networks. But get the whole board working. What was I going to say? But yeah, no, I think it's more to show that anybody, you don't need to be an expert to do SMD soldering like that. Especially me, because I had no interest in it initially. And now that's pretty much all I'm doing. I might go grab no espresso. So we've quite a few here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's look at them first. So we got this one here. Is it? Oh, yeah. This one here. This one here. I haven't counted how many SMD passives there is on this board. On the Re-Amiga 1200, I stopped counting at about 500. And I was like probably 2/3 of the way done. Here it's probably closer to, let's say, 300. And it's funny because once they're almost all in place and it still looks like there's only a handful of them. It's quite demoralizing putting passives on especially SMD stuff. No, they're 1206. Technically, I don't really need a microscope for this. 1206 are big enough to do with a good pair of glasses. Wait, so 5. Did you mean on the MSX board? Like this board has some 06, 03, I think, yeah. And or is that 0805? No, I think it's 06, 03. And these here are 0805. No, they're are they 12? No, they're 1206. They're 1206. And yeah, they're 1206. And this is these are 0603 for sure. Because I made the mistake of ordering 0805 for these, and it didn't quite fit. For the Amiga, yeah, it's 1206. It's all 1206 and 25. There's a couple of 25, whatever, 25 something. Big 1 watt resistors. These guys. But yeah, the 1206 you can do with your own eyes. I don't think you need a scope for those. Just handy to have. And I was just dying for an excuse to use it. So I'm going to do those 3 first. And then we'll move on to the next row. Gonna have to shower this in isopropyl hot water afterwards to get the flux off because it's so sticky now. You need to go to bed. Yeah, I'm not sure what time it is. Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, I'm not working tomorrow. I have Fridays off at the moment, so have a good night. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the chat. Have a good one. Maybe still don't know for sure if we'll do one next week. We probably will. I used way too much solder initially, so I can clean that off afterwards. I'd probably oops, missed that one. Leo, have you any plans to reuse that paper Simon puppet? Okay, let's I'll have to count how many I did tonight. We're probably close to 100 in these in one night. Oh, sorry. Where are we? It's 4, so it should be 3 more here, and there is. Oh yeah, here. I like it though. Bonjour, guy, Ollie. The intro. Yeah, Fiona and I did like it. Nobody from nowhere here did the best parody of me I've ever heard. All right, I think. Oh no, there's a couple more afterwards, but we're nearly there. And there's one here. Come on. There you go. And the last one for this batch is right here. Or you always think it's in the field of view, and it never is. It'd be better if I... That's all of them here. Is there any more down below? No, I think we covered this. There's one thing here. What is it? Hmm. $330 nanofarad. Oh yes, I was missing one. I was actually missing one. Yeah, I remember that now. So I think that's the bottom of the board, all covered now. Yeah, bar that. I mean, that little 330 is not strictly. I could replace it with something else. It's just for the TTL ICs on the other side, and I could technically put any values there. I think a 200 would work. In fact, I have 220s there left. I might just put a 220 afterwards. Cook Chicory really wanted to appreciate so he helped him out. No, that really worked. It kind of made the whole video kind of very light and fun as well. I've done enough parodies of other people and on other channels to get the same fate. So, folks, I'm not sure. There's another, like, if we go to the top board, where's my mouse? Why are you doing this? The top here, and select capacitors, 100 nanofarad. We've got a lot. In fact, pretty much all the empty space now is going to be filled with those caps, and there is 24 of them. How many? 11. No. It's 28. Oh, that wasn't close to 100. 58, and on the other side there's like so there's only 58 capacitors I put in tonight. God, that felt like 1,000. Yeah, not even close to 100. So I have 24 to put in left. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe finish that tomorrow. Because I've had enough, essentially. I've been streaming. Now, to be fair, if I was doing it on my own, I'd have a better, faster way to do it. But it's not the point. The point is to take some of the tedium out of doing this on your own. Probably be much faster tomorrow, finishing that, and then that's all my passive SMD stuff in. I'm waiting now for new parts. So there's all these network arrays to put in, like these guys here, and there is a ton of them everywhere over the board. So we'll put those in. There's a few. I think I've put all the diodes in already. But there's a few fuses that we need, SMD fuses, that need to be put in place. There's an extra diode here. They're the big, those big giant diodes, but a few fuses. I think they're on the other side to put in. Are they? God, I remember seeing a ton of them, but oh yeah, they're here. So this guy is a fuse. Yeah, there's a few of them around the board left to put in. But other than that, I think after that, there's a resistor network, the power in. I've already the LEDs here, the power connector, and we'll be able to just test that power works according to the guide Chucky's made. Very, very comprehensive guide. Let me see if I can open it. Whoa. Sorry about that. Where can you buy a card like that? Well, I'm actually going to the website. If you type in Re-Amiga, this website here, Re-Amiga, and you'll be able to select. So the Re-Amiga 1200 was the one I did previously. This is 3000. Where you can buy it, well, you can contact Shocky directly. I'm not sure. It depends where you live in the world. There's also places like Amiga.eu, I think. Is that it? That is not Amiga.eu. Amiga Store. AmigaStore.eu. There you go. Here, AmigaStore.eu. So it depends where in the world you are. In Europe, we can go to this side. I think Amiga Kit for UK. But here, let's just say for 1200. And there you go. You can buy one of the Re-Amiga boards. But I'm not sure if Chucky has released the Gerbers for this. Build guide as text. You might have. You might be able to get them printed on your own. Although it'd be cheaper to just buy the one. If not, you can definitely contact Chucky directly from this page. Just go look for Re-Amiga, and it's somewhere there. If you can't find it, you can contact Chucky directly from somewhere on the site. But yeah. Hope that helps. There you go, Sprint and Gerber files. So you can download those files here. And yeah. Solder mask, tab zip. Yeah, so build of material. So you should have everything there to either order it yourself from PCBWay, GLC, PCB, any of those sites, or just check with Chucky. Can he send you as you want for sale, that kind of stuff. But the guide, I was going to say the guide is here as text. There's a video guide as well, but it's just one. Okay, well, let's forget about that. But the text guide is what you want, and essentially right now we're just here. the all these components, that's just picture one. So after that, we install the connector, power the board, start installing some of the TTLs, the voltage detector, check with the scope that we get a proper sync, a video sync, start populating the board, slowly, that kind of stuff. That's part one. And then part two is more tests. I had to do some of the audio tests, some of the parallel port and serial port and that kind of stuff. Get the scan doubler working. Part three, which is the final part. More scope testing, that kind of stuff. So you spend a lot of time making those guides. They're very thorough. They're very good. I followed it to the letter for my Re-Amiga 1200, and everything worked perfectly the first go. So yeah, it's worth following. But there you go, folks. I'm going to leave it at that for tonight. I'll finish this, and next week hopefully I'll have the parts received for the for building this guy. Or at least we'll go some way to building it. The TFMSX. So I have another one of those that I want to build because Stephen has made an extra add-on board that comes to it that is really, really, really cool. It's essentially a JAMA board, so you can actually put your MSX into an arcade machine, a JAMA arcade machine, and play it that way. So we'll start building that. There's a bit more involved. This one has a lot more TTL. There's a CPL, DTT, solder. There's some SMD stuff. There's a SMD RAM here. A lot of tiny components like these resistor networks that are far smaller, and so on. There's a few missing ICs here. Essentially, this was an order that whatever company Stephen, it wasn't Stephen, it was Goose, used messed up, and they didn't populate some of them. So it's a batch that was going to go to the bin. I was like, hold on, I'll build one. I'll finish building one. Anyway, thank you very much, folks, for joining in. I'll see you next week. There won't be a video on 8-Bit Manshed this weekend. I'll have one for next week, and hopefully we'll do another stream next week. Thank you very much, and have a good night.